Well, when you need an explanation, this explains a lot. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about what Elizabeth Olsen had to say about Multiverse of Madness and how it wasn't really tied to WandaVision. Well, as many of you know, we saw Wanda Maximoff's story continue from WandaVision into Multiverse of Madness. But most people felt like the portrayal was really jarring, and as they took the Avenger down a dark path, it seemed a little bit disconjoined with WandaVision. Many fans have wondered what has gone on behind the scenes and why this happened, and now Elizabeth Olsen herself has confirmed what we suspected all along. Now recently, the actress was talking to Variety, and in that conversation, she confirmed that the movie's writers hadn't even seen WandaVision when they were penning Doctor Strange. In the interview, she said, "It's a similar arc in Multiverse of Madness that is in WandaVision. There could be parallel stories told there dealing with grief and loss." Well, I proposed that to the writers who wrote Multiverse of Madness. I said, "Do you know what we're doing in WandaVision? Have you seen it?" And no, they hadn't seen it because it wasn't finished yet. So I had to try and, play it different, right? I had to attack the same themes in order for it to be interesting for me and potentially for the audience. It just had to come from a different point of view so that it wasn't repetitive. Now, for the most part, her descent into villainy kind of worked. It was rather jarring to see how quickly it got really, really dark compared to the compassionate and rather somber end to WandaVision. Now we do know she was corrupted by the Darkhold, but the disconjoined nature of the two projects now makes a lot more sense than it did before. I honestly blame this 100% on Bob Chapek and the overall throttling up of Marvel's productivity from Disney proper. This is a classic quality over quantity issue, and at this point in time, Marvel was trying to churn out so much material and make up for some of the losses that happened from COVID that I think all of this was lost in the process, and if the writers on Multiverse of Madness, which is presumably Michael Waldron, had the opportunity to see WandaVision, it might have connected with audiences a little bit better. Now, add in the fact that Multiverse of Madness went through a massive number of changes even while the cameras were rolling, I really do think this all added to a potential problem with their project, and one of the reasons the movie, although well received, probably wasn't as good as it could have been. This is clearly one of those problems Kevin Feige is working to iron out now, and under the renewed leadership of Bob Iger, I don't think we're going to have this problem in the future anymore. But we'll have to wait and see.